The headline in the military newspaper read, "Coward flees battle, brothers die." For 15 years, that single line defined Michael Rodriguez's existence. Stripped of his uniform, his honor, and his future, he worked construction jobs under assumed names, moving from town to town whenever someone recognized him from the news coverage. The army had painted him as the ultimate failure, a soldier who ran when his brothers needed him most. But in 2024, when Pentagon archives were being digitized, a civilian contractor found something that had been buried in classified files. 47 minutes of high-definition drone footage that told a completely different story. Welcome to the Human Ledger, where we record the stories that matter most. Stories where truth gets buried, injustice prevails, and finally, reality comes to light. Before we begin this powerful tale of justice, redemption, and unexpected discovery, tell us in the comments which city you're watching from today. And if you believe these forgotten truths deserve to be remembered, subscribe and help us keep their stories alive in the ledger of human justice. March 2009, Helmand Province, Afghanistan. Forward operating base. Chapman was one of the most dangerous outposts in the US military's arsenal, a place where life and death struggles happened daily, where Taliban attacks were constant, where every soldier knew they might not see tomorrow. A small checkpoint in the middle of the desert, surrounded by mountains, besieged by enemies. 150 soldiers, thousands of enemies, endless tension. Staff Sergeant Michael Rodriguez was one of the leaders in the middle of this hell. 29 years old, Puerto Rican descent, raised in Brooklyn, 8 years of professional military experience. His speech was calm but authoritative, his movements calculated but swift. His soldiers loved him because he was both tough and fair. His commanders appreciated him because he followed orders without question. Most importantly, his battle buddies trusted him because he never left anyone behind. Rodriguez's second squad, Charlie Company, was a 12-man elite team. Most were 19 to 22 years old, some on their first deployment, others experienced. But all of them trusted Rodriguez blindly. March 18, 2009, Wednesday morning, 0630 hours. Routine patrol mission. Rodriguez and his team were conducting reconnaissance 3 kilometers from base near Patrol Base Delta. Intel reports said the area was clear. But in Afghanistan, no area was ever truly clear. At 0745 hours, hell broke loose. IED explosion, then RPG fire, then automatic weapon fire from every direction. Perfectly planned ambush. The Taliban had surrounded second squad from 3 sides. The only escape route was the hill behind them. Rodriguez immediately radioed base. Base, this is Charlie 26. We are under heavy contact. 3 KIA, 5 WIA. Request immediate air support. 3 dead, 5 wounded. Out of the 12-man team, only 4 could fight. Rodriguez, Private Jackson, Corporal Martinez, and Private Williams. But they couldn't leave the wounded behind. Rodriguez made his decision. Jackson, Martinez, carry the wounded up the hill. Williams and I will stay here and provide cover fire. Sergeant, you come with us, Jackson shouted. Negative, go now! The next 20 minutes were the longest 20 minutes of Rodriguez and Williams' lives. 2 men against over 50 Taliban fighters, ammunition running low, time to evacuate the wounded running out. Then Williams took a bullet, shot in the leg. Rodriguez was alone, Taliban advancing, ammunition depleted, air support not coming. Rodriguez had 2 choices. Leave Williams and run, or stay and die. Rodriguez chose a third option. He put Williams on his back, spent his last rounds firing at the enemy, and ran toward them. Yes, you heard that right. He ran toward the enemy because that was the one thing the Taliban didn't expect. He ran 50 meters. Williams on his back, bullets flying around them. Then an RPG exploded. Rodriguez fell. He didn't let go of Williams. He got back up, kept running. The Taliban were shocked. Where was this man going? Rodriguez knew. He knew the map by heart. 200 meters away was a small cave. From there they could climb to the hill. But 100 meters from the cave, Rodriguez collapsed. He passed out from blood loss. This is where the official report took over. Operational Report, March 18, 2009, Helmand Province. Staff Sergeant Rodriguez, facing enemy contact, abandoned his position and fled toward enemy lines. His desertion resulted in 3 KIA and compromised the squad's defensive position. Rodriguez was found unconscious 200 meters from the contact zone, apparently having attempted to escape toward Taliban positions. The investigation officer who wrote this report, Major Thomas Harrison, hadn't been at the scene. He'd only relied on statements from survivors. And the survivors were in shock, traumatized, couldn't remember clearly. Rodriguez's court-martial took place 6 months later at Fort Bragg. The prosecutor stated clearly, Rodriguez fled in cowardice and abandoned his brothers to death. Rodriguez's lawyer tried to defend, my client was trying to save his wounded soldier. But there was no evidence, no drone footage, only statements, and the statements were against Rodriguez. Result, court-martial, rank-stripped, dishonorable discharge. Rodriguez's military career was over, but his real punishment was just beginning. Dishonorable discharge meant being condemned in civilian life too. Job applications asking, do you have military background? Meant having to say yes, but dishonorably discharged. Result, being turned away at the door. Rodriguez moved to California, worked under assumed names, construction, cleaning, security, whatever he could find, never married, never had children. How could he start a family with the coward label? 15 years passed like this. Rodriguez turned 44, his hair greyed, his spirit rotted. He really started to feel guilty. Maybe he really had run. Maybe his head had been confused. Maybe his memories had changed over time. 2024, Washington, D.C. Pentagon Archive Building. Civilian contractor Jennifer Walsh worked for a company that digitized old military files. Her job was boring, scanning old tapes, CDs, hard drives, and converting them to digital format. That day, she had a hard drive from 2009 Afghanistan operations. Routine surveillance footage, drone recordings, intelligence reports. She was going to do the usual automatic upload. But one file caught her attention. Helmand_18 March 09 _Chapman _base _surveillance.mp4. Curious, she opened it. 47 minutes of high-definition drone footage. March 18, 2009, near Forward Operating Base, Chapman. Jennifer didn't know anything about military operations, but what she saw shocked her. A soldier was running towards the enemy, carrying his wounded comrade on his back, under a hail of bullets. It was Rodriguez. Jennifer showed the video to an expert. The expert was also shocked. This wasn't desertion, it was heroism. Jennifer researched the file, found Rodriguez's court records, read the court-martial results. Couldn't believe it, she immediately reported to the Pentagon. The Pentagon Inspector General launched an investigation. The video was analyzed by independent experts. Possibility of being fake, 0%. Rodriguez had really been trying to save his wounded soldier. But why hadn't this video been found before? The investigation revealed the video had been mislabeled in classified files, archived in the wrong folder. No one had seen it for 15 years. At this point, the Pentagon had to make a decision. Admit its mistake and exonerate Rodriguez or cover it up. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin made the decision. Justice may be delayed, but it never dies. October 15, 2024. Pentagon Press Briefing Room. Rodriguez was working at a construction site in Montana. The phone rang. Mr. Rodriguez, this is Colonel Patterson calling from the Pentagon. I need to speak with you urgently. Rodriguez's heart stopped. What had he done now? Sir, is there a problem? No, Rodriguez. Quite the opposite. We found evidence that clears you. Rodriguez dropped the phone. The next hours were a blur: plane ticket to Pentagon, hotel reservation, lawyer appointment. Rodriguez was returning to Washington for the first time in 15 years. In the Pentagon briefing room, Defense Secretary Austin personally made the announcement. Today, the Department of Defense formally reverses the court-martial conviction of Staff Sergeant Michael Rodriguez. New evidence completely exonerates Sergeant Rodriguez and reveals actions that warrant the Medal of Honor, America's highest military decoration. Rodriguez cried at the press conference for the first time in 15 years. "I never abandoned my brothers," he said. "I would die for them." Now Rodriguez's story is taught in every military academy as a lesson in courage, sacrifice, and brotherhood. The Medal of Honor given to Rodriguez reads, "For extraordinary heroism and selfless service above and beyond the call of duty." But Rodriguez's most precious award is something else, a letter from Williams. "Sergeant, you saved my life that day. I always knew the truth. Thank you for never giving up." Michael Rodriguez was labeled a coward for 15 years. But the truth is, he was one of America's bravest soldiers. No one had just seen it, until that drone video was found. So I ask you, have you ever met someone who was wrongly accused? Someone who waited until the truth came out? Write their name in the comments. If this story touched you, subscribe and share. At the Human Ledger, we promise never to forget those who suffered injustice.